What if the pill you took for a peaceful night's rest could silently turn against you, hijacking your body, erasing your memory, and in some cases, ending your life? In just over 2 decades, the FDA has logged 66 alarming reports tied to popular sleep aids, with 20 ending in death and 46 causing severe injuries like fatal car crashes, drownings, and catastrophic falls. Millions of Americans on fixed incomes and struggling with sleepless nights have trusted these products, never suspecting that their cure might become a killer. Are we being lulled into danger under the comforting label of safe and effective? Are corporations downplaying deadly risks to protect billion-dollar profits while our bodies become battlegrounds for hidden chemical consequences? The recent sweeping recalls pulling 5 widely used sleep aids from shelves after fatal reactions prove that the danger is not hypothetical. It's here, it's real, and it's happening in our bedrooms. This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. And tonight, we're exposing the terrifying reality behind the 5 sleep aids millions once trusted with their lives. Number 1, Philips Respironics. The grim reality is haunting thousands of Americans who relied on Philips Respironics devices, once trusted companions in the battle against sleep apnea. In June of 2021, the company issued a sweeping recall of millions of CPAP, BiPAP, and ventilator units after discovering that the very foam designed to soften sound, a polyester-based polyurethane called PE-PUR, could break down inside the machine. As it deteriorated, it released tiny black particles and volatile organic compounds like into users' airways. Each breath, once meant to preserve life, became a potential chemical assault. And this wasn't just a minor irritation. Reports poured in of respiratory inflammation, chronic coughing, pneumonia, sinus infections, and even cancers linked to long-term exposure. Like an assassin hiding behind a nurse's smile, the device designed to save lives may have been slowly dismantling them. The numbers tell a chilling story. The FDA has logged more than 116,000 medical device reports related to foam breakdown, including 561 deaths. Between July 1st and September 30th of 2023 alone, 111 new fatalities were added. And even before that, 385 more had already raised red flags. Studies warn that the degraded foam can release cytotoxic and genotoxic agents capable of killing cells or mutating DNA, transforming a medical device into something that rewrites life at its core. Yet for years, Philips allegedly knew this nightmare was unfolding. Internal emails from company engineers show warnings about foam degradation long before the recall. Instead of acting decisively, Philips delayed, failed to warn patients, and continued selling devices. It was like watching smoke fill a room and choosing to shut the door rather than sound the alarm. The legal fallout is enormous. In April of 2024, Philips agreed to pay $1.1 billion to settle thousands of personal injury claims and an additional $479 million to address economic losses. But the company insists this is not an admission of guilt, just a business decision. Meanwhile, lawsuits such as Kirsch versus Philips accuse the devices of causing cancers of the nasal cavity, while regulators tighten their grip. A federal consent decree now bars Philips from selling new CPAP and BiPAP machines in the United States until they meet stricter safety standards and complete a recall remediation plan to repair, replace, or compensate affected devices. In France, prosecutors have launched a criminal probe into potential aggravated fraud and failure to report deadly safety incidents, with over 104 complaints already filed. If convicted, company officials could face up to 7 years in prison, and Philips could be fined 3.75 million euros. But perhaps the most haunting part of this saga is not the courtroom drama. It's the human wreckage left behind. ProPublica documented 9 devastating accounts from people whose lives were upended by these machines. They speak of irreversible lung damage, relentless infections, weight loss, anxiety, and mounting medical debt. Many describe feeling betrayed, abandoned by a company they trusted with their very breath. And Philips's response, insisting that no conclusive data links their devices to deaths, rings hollow for grieving families. It's like telling someone standing in ashes that there was never really a fire. This scandal isn't just about defective equipment. It's about the system that allowed it to happen. A system where profit often outruns precaution and human lives become footnotes in quarterly earnings reports. For older Americans on fixed incomes who bought these machines believing they were investing in their health, the betrayal cuts deeper than most corporate scandals. It's a reminder that even something as basic as the air you breathe can turn against you when corporations play roulette with safety. If you're now questioning every hum and hiss from the machine beside your bed, you're not alone. And perhaps it's time to look towards safer alternatives. Brands like ResMed and Fisher & Paykel Healthcare have been praised for stricter quality controls and transparent safety protocols. They're not perfect, but in a landscape where trust has become a 4-letter word, they may offer a fighting chance for a good night's sleep that doesn't come with a side of fear. Number 2, Ambien Zolpidem. It's the little white pill millions of Americans have trusted for decades to help them sleep. Yet it has a habit of turning night into something far darker. Ambien, the brand name for Zolpidem, was approved in 1992 as a short-term solution for insomnia. But instead of just lulling people to sleep, it has repeatedly dragged them into dangerous, unconscious behaviors they cannot remember. From wandering into traffic to lighting stoves, from making phone calls to committing acts of violence, these so-called complex sleep behaviors became so alarming that on April 30th, 2019, the FDA ordered a boxed warning, the agency's strongest alert, for Zolpidem and similar drugs like Esopicolone and Zalplon. The warning stated plainly, even at low doses, even after the first pill, users have been found sleepwalking, sleep driving, cooking, injuring themselves, and in some cases dying, all without memory of their actions. The numbers alone are chilling. From 1992 to 2018, the FDA recorded 66 reports of these bizarre incidents. 20 ended in death. 46 others led to severe injuries, bruises, broken bones, burns, falls from heights, car crashes, drownings, carbon monoxide poisoning, suicide, and self-harm, all while the victims were essentially asleep. Lawsuits and legal filings compiled by firms like Lion Firm detail similar findings. Roughly 46 serious, non-fatal events and 20 deaths linked to Ambien-like sleep aids, many involving drivers who woke up to find themselves in wrecked cars or families who discovered loved ones drowned, poisoned, or dead by their own hand. What's most terrifying is that these reactions don't require mixing Ambien with alcohol or other sedatives. They can occur entirely on their own, sometimes on the very first dose. Some cases are so surreal they sound like crime fiction. One elderly woman was found drowned in her bathtub with extraordinarily high Zolpidem levels in her blood, the only notable substance present. Experts concluded that overdose alone, though rare, could not be ruled out. Even more disturbing are documented cases of Zolpidem-associated homicide. In a published forensic report, 2 individuals taking Zolpidem alongside SSRI antidepressants like paroxetine committed murder while in a somnambulistic state and later awoke with no memory or only fragmented recollections. Neither had any history of violent behavior. This chilling phenomenon shows how Zolpidem, especially in older patients or those taking higher doses of 10 milligrams or more, can trigger hallucinations, confusion, memory gaps, and catastrophic outcomes. The outrage isn't just about the side effects. It's about what drug companies didn't say. Lawsuits accuse manufacturers of downplaying or outright omitting these risks from labels, advertisements, and prescribing information. Many patients and doctors claim they were never adequately warned, robbing them of the chance to weigh the dangers. As a result, class action lawsuits and personal injury claims have exploded, with victims seeking compensation for medical costs, psychological trauma, lost wages, and wrongful death. Some law firms even advertise specifically for Ambien-related claims, underscoring how widespread and devastating these cases have become. The FDA has responded by tightening restrictions further. It not only mandated the boxed warning, but also issued contraindications. Zolpidem, isoprene, and Zaloplan must not be prescribed to anyone who has experienced complex sleep behaviors on them before. The agency emphasized that these reactions can happen at low doses, from the first dose, and without alcohol or other sedatives. It even forced drug makers to cut recommended doses for women from 10 milligrams to 5, and from 12.5 milligrams extended release to 6.25. After research showed women retain higher zolpidem levels in the morning, raising the risk of daytime accidents. Ambien has never faced a full-scale national recall, but it stands as one of the most controversial sleep medications in modern history. A drug that can switch off consciousness while leaving the body awake and dangerously active. In courtrooms and regulatory halls, it has become a symbol of how pharmaceutical companies can sell peace of mind in a bottle while quietly gambling with people's lives. And for millions of Americans who took that pill just to rest, only to wake up to wreckage, literal or figurative, Ambien's legacy is a cruel reminder that even something meant to help you sleep can become the monster that keeps you awake. If you're now second-guessing the pills on your nightstand, you're not alone. And you might want to ask your doctor about alternatives like Belsomra, Razorem, or Divigo, which operate on different pathways and carry fewer reports of such haunting nighttime behaviors. Number 3. Lunesta, isoprene. They promised it would be the gentler way to sleep, a modern alternative to old-school sedatives, sleekly marketed as safer, softer, smarter. But Lunesta, the brand name for isoprene, has turned out to be far from the peaceful lullaby it was sold as. Since its FDA approval in 2004, it has quietly accumulated a disturbing record of bizarre, dangerous, and sometimes deadly complex sleep behaviors. What began as a pill meant to help people drift off has instead been tied to episodes of people driving cars in their sleep, cooking meals while unconscious, wandering outside barefoot at midnight, or waking up bruised, burned, or worse, with no memory of what they had done. In 2014, even before the most damning warnings surfaced, the FDA issued a safety communication revealing that Lunesta could impair driving skills, memory, and motor coordination for more than 11 hours after use. A morning hangover effect so subtle, users often didn't realize they were still impaired. That revelation forced regulators to slash the recommended starting dose from 3 milligrams to 1 milligram. But this was just the tip of a much darker iceberg. By April 30th, 2019, the situation had grown so concerning that the FDA demanded a boxed warning, the highest level of caution, and issued a contraindication for anyone who had previously experienced complex sleep behaviors. The evidence was damning. 66 incidents documented over 26 years, including 20 deaths and 46 severe injuries. Victims had drowned, crashed cars, fallen from balconies, suffered carbon monoxide poisoning, burned themselves, or died by suicide. All while under Lunesta's influence and often without any recollection of their actions. A 2020 analysis, association of isoprene, Zaloplan, or Zolpidem with complex sleep behaviors, revealed that these incidents included third-degree burns, gunshot wounds, severe fractures, and cases of hypothermia after wandering into freezing weather. It painted a chilling picture. A medication designed to restore control over sleep was instead robbing people of control over their own bodies. The courtroom battles that followed added fuel to the fire. Lawsuits accused the manufacturer of downplaying risks and failing to warn users about potential unconscious behaviors. Many patients describe waking up in strange places, missing hours from their memory, or discovering unexplained injuries. One high-profile lawsuit, Switzerland vs. GlaxoSmithKline, alleged that combining Lunesta with the antidepressant Paxil triggered suicidal behavior, a risk the plaintiff argued they were never warned about. These legal challenges accuse the company of burying crucial safety data in fine print or internal documents, while continuing to market Lunesta as a safe and effective sleep solution. And while Lunesta has never faced a nationwide recall, like some medical devices, the cumulative weight of black box warnings, dose restrictions, and mounting reports of death and injury has deeply tarnished its reputation among doctors and patients alike. Medical journals have criticized how key information about Lunesta's actual effectiveness, including how modest its sleep benefits are compared to a placebo, often remains buried in FDA reviews and rarely reaches clinicians or the public. As one article, Lost in Transmission, FDA drug information that never reaches clinicians, bluntly put it, much of what doctors and patients need to truly weigh the risks and benefits gets lost in translation. For older Americans who thought they were buying a ticket to restful nights, many now wake up questioning whether they're gambling with their safety instead. Some users describe partial memory loss after taking Lunesta, waking up with cuts, bruises, or in unfamiliar places. On online forums, one piece of advice repeats over and over: if you wake up and don't remember anything, stop the drug immediately and see a neurologist. It's a grim warning that stands in stark contrast to the serene imagery once used to sell Lunesta as the gentle guardian of your sleep. If that guardian now feels more like a trickster playing Russian roulette with your health, alternatives like Belsomra, Hetlioz, or Kuvivik, which work on different sleep pathways and have fewer reports of unconscious behavior, might be worth discussing with your doctor before another night slips out of your control. Number 4. Sonata Zaleplon. It was marketed as the quick fix for sleepless nights, a pill that would gently nudge you into slumber without the next day fogginess that haunted older sedatives. But Sonata, the brand name for Zaleplon, has proven that speed isn't always safety. Like its notorious cousins Ambien and Lunesta, Sonata belongs to the Z drug family, and it carries the same chilling warning. It can make you act without consciousness, memory, or control. According to Pfizer's own label, Sonata users have been documented sleepwalking, sleep driving, cooking, and engaging in other activities while not fully awake. These episodes aren't just embarrassing midnight adventures. They've led to serious injuries and even death. And in many cases, patients wake up with no recollection of what they did. It's as if the body becomes a puppet moving on its own strings while the mind is switched off. The danger isn't limited to reckless behavior. In post-marketing reports, Pfizer confirmed that such incidents can happen even at recommended doses, with or without alcohol or other central nervous system depressants. That means a person could pop a single pill, their very first, and end up wandering into traffic, falling from a balcony, or worse. The FDA took notice. In April of 2019, it issued a black box warning, its most severe for Sonata and other Z drugs, after reviewing 66 cases of complex sleep behaviors between 1992 and 2018. Among those were 20 deaths and 46 severe injuries. The list of tragedies reads like a nightmare. Carbon monoxide poisoning, drownings, fatal falls, fiery burns, hypothermia, car crashes, suicide, and self-inflicted harm. These were not reckless thrill seekers or habitual risk takers. They were ordinary people trying to get a good night's sleep. The most unsettling part is how little control patients have once Sonata takes hold. Its own label warns that these behaviors can happen from the very first dose, even at low levels, even in people with no prior history. Doctors are now strongly advised to stop prescribing Sonata to anyone who has previously experienced such episodes, and to immediately discontinue it if such behavior occurs. But how many people learn that warning only after they wake up bruised, bloodied, or facing legal trouble from actions they don't remember? It's a cruel twist. The same pill meant to calm your mind may unleash chaos from your body. The dark story doesn't end there. A 2020 analysis titled Association of Azopiclone, Zaloplan, or Zolpidem with Complex Sleep Behaviors examined the broader risks of Z drugs and confirmed 20 fatalities and 46 severe injuries linked to them. The documented causes of death, from carbon monoxide poisoning to hypothermia, show how ordinary environments become deadly when people move unconsciously. Even more alarming, many of these events occurred after just one dose. And if the risk of unconscious behavior weren't enough, the Mayo Clinic warns that Zaloplan can trigger life-threatening allergic reactions such as anaphylaxis or angioedema. Severe immune responses that can close a person's airway in minutes if untreated. Sonata has never faced a nationwide recall, but it sits under the same shadow as its Z-drug siblings, a class of medications once marketed as modern miracles that now bear black box warnings and a growing list of lawsuits and safety advisories. It's a sobering lesson for anyone on a fixed income or struggling to afford healthcare. Even a simple pill promising peaceful sleep can turn your own body into a hazard zone. If you're starting to wonder whether that fast-acting sleep aid on your nightstand is worth the risk, you're not overreacting. Discussing safer alternatives like Quviviq, Dayvigo, or Silanor, which target different sleep pathways and carry far fewer reports of unconscious behavior, could mean the difference between sleeping peacefully and waking up to a nightmare you don't remember living through. Number 5. Blackout Sleep Aid. It was marketed as a simple over-the-counter supplement, the kind you toss into your cart without a second thought, expecting nothing more dangerous than a night of deep rest. But Blackout, a sleep aid produced by Nutrabolics Inc., turned out to be anything but harmless. On July 11, 2019, Health Canada ordered a voluntary recall of the product after discovering that it contained prescription-strength levels of L-tryptophan, a powerful serotonin precursor that, at high doses, belongs nowhere near a casual supplement shelf. Because Blackout had never been evaluated or authorized by Health Canada for safety, quality, or effectiveness, it skipped the rigorous clinical testing that real medicines must undergo. That meant anyone swallowing it was effectively playing Russian roulette with their nervous system, and many didn't even know it. The danger wasn't just regulatory red tape. L-tryptophan, when present at prescription strength, can trigger a life-threatening condition known as serotonin syndrome, especially if combined with antidepressants like SSRIs or SNRIs, or in individuals who are highly sensitive. This is no minor side effect. Serotonin syndrome can cause high fever, seizures, muscle rigidity, dangerously irregular heartbeats, blood pressure spikes, and even death if untreated. Health Canada warned consumers to stop using Blackout immediately, return unused products to the point of purchase, and seek medical attention if they had already taken it. And while no confirmed deaths linked directly to Blackout were reported, that doesn't mean the danger wasn't real. The recall itself was issued because the risk of catastrophic outcomes was too high to ignore. The scandal highlighted a darker truth about the booming supplement industry. Many of these so-called natural sleep aids aren't as innocent as they appear. Blackout hadn't just bent the rules. It had crossed into prescription territory without oversight, exposing consumers to pharmaceutical-grade risks under the guise of a gentle wellness product. Experts warn that combining such high levels of L-tryptophan with serotonergic medications could be disastrous, a ticking time bomb waiting for the wrong interaction to set it off. And while official reports stopped short of linking blackout to fatalities, anecdotal accounts on consumer forums painted a troubling picture. Users reported racing heartbeats, rebound insomnia, chest tightness, and panic-like episodes after using sleep blends with unclear ingredient lists. Even if these cases weren't conclusively tied to blackout, they reflected a growing public anxiety over unregulated supplements and the hidden dangers they might harbor. The FDA itself has sounded the alarm in its sleep, skin, bodybuilding, and other product notifications, warning that countless over-the-counter products marketed as sleep aids, beauty boosters, or fitness enhancers are secretly laced with undeclared pharmaceutical ingredients. Blackout was exactly the kind of product they had in mind, a supplement that blurred the line between natural support and unregulated drug, potentially delivering doses far higher than what the label suggested. The scandal also revealed just how vulnerable consumers, especially older Americans living on fixed incomes, are in a marketplace where natural is used as a marketing shield. Many buy such supplements believing they're safe alternatives to prescription sleep aids, only to find they may be swallowing something far more potent than they bargained for. The bitter irony is that blackout wasn't pulled from shelves because people were dying in droves. It was pulled because it had the potential to. It's a reminder that danger doesn't always announce itself with body counts. Sometimes it lurks quietly in a bottle that looks harmless until the right or wrong chemical combination unlocks disaster. If the idea of swallowing a mystery pill that could hijack your serotonin levels now feels more frightening than sleeplessness itself, that's the point. Safer alternatives like Ollie Sleep Gummies, Nature-Made Melatonin, or Thorne Sleeps. Products that disclose their ingredients transparently and stay within approved dosage ranges are worth considering before trusting another miracle sleep blend with your body. Because when it comes to supplements, the most dangerous ingredient of all might be the false sense of security they sell you. Your health is too precious to trust blindly. Subscribe now, and let's keep exposing the hidden dangers together.
Thanks so much for sticking with us to the very end. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our daily updates. And now feel free to check out some of our latest and most popular videos showing up on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.